I wish it was Christmas today. I wish it was Christmas today. Every day's a Christmas day. Top 5 things, come what may. Reviews, movies, and festive cheer. Join the fun, Christmas is here. It's Christmas every day.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Merry Christmas, everybody. Merry Christmas. Welcome to Christmas Every Day. This is the podcast that keeps the spirit of Christmas going year round. My name is Troy, and I'm your host. Now, if you're new to the show, thank you so much for checking us out. Really appreciate you stopping by. Keep coming back. We're going to be doing a bunch of new stuff coming up. And if you've checked out the show before and you're back to give it another shot, can't thank you enough for that either. So this is going to be kind of an abbreviated episode today. Life just happens sometimes. It gets in the way, and I wasn't able to put together the show this week that I really wanted to, but I also didn't want to just scrap it for a week, because if you get in that kind of habit and you don't keep up your consistency, it leads to bad things. That's all I'm going to say about it. But I didn't want to take a week off, so we're going to have some fun anyway. Christmas is coming up real soon. You're going to find out how soon very shortly. And let's get on with it. It is Friday, August 15th, 2025. We're already halfway through the month. Can you believe this? I couldn't be any happier about it. We're now 17 days away from September 1st. Now, college football season starts 8 days from today. You know it's getting close to the holiday season when college football comes back on. So who's not excited about that? The Burr months. It's the best time of the year. And just a little bit more than 2 weeks away. You can't beat that. So anyway, we're getting close, folks. Please don't forget to send me your music recommendations for newer Christmas music. And for me, that's basically anything within like the last 25 or 30 years. You know, I haven't kept up with the Christmas music over that period of time. So it's dreadful. I know it's just it's positively dreadful. But please send those recommendations to me at christmaseverydayshow@gmail.com. I'll be doing new reaction videos to newer Christmas music, to me, as my way of learning about new songs. So it's super fun. I've already done one. It's up on my YouTube channel, Christmas Every Day. You can go check it out. So yeah, now I'm gonna get right into it. Excuse me. Last week, I asked our listeners to let me know who their favorite Santa Claus is. Now, it could be from a movie, it could be from a TV special, it could be from a Norman Rockwell illustration. It doesn't really matter. I got a bunch of great answers. I want to share a couple of them with you, because some of them you will totally not be surprised by, and then, some of them you may be. So we're going to start off with the Christmas Chapters podcast, okay? Christmas Chapters says Scott Calvin is their favorite Santa Claus, Tim Allen in the Santa Claus. I'm going to take a brief pause here. Go check out the Christmas Chapters podcast. It's a great show. It's a really cool format, and the narrator is like super cool. Just great person. I've had a great conversation with her, and just an introduction. Hey, I'm a podcaster. Hey, I'm a podcaster too. Really great person. But the podcast is phenomenal. So Christmas Chapters, so far it looks like she's putting out an episode about once a month. And I'm sure that'll probably ramp up a little bit the closer it gets to Christmas. So Christmas Chapters podcast. Go check it out. Feel the Christmas Feeling on Instagram, says Scott Calvin as well. So that's, two people saying Scott Calvin. Jonathan Hitchcock. Okay. Jonathan Hitchcock sent in the email about visiting Frankenmuth, Michigan last week. And he says David Harbour in Violent Night. Now, I haven't seen Violent Night. It didn't really pique my interest all that much, but now I'm going to have to put it on the list. Okay, so if somebody says it's their favorite Santa of all time, I should probably watch the movie, see what kind of goes on in it. It's on my bucket list of movies to see this holiday season. So Rita says Richard Attenborough in Miracle on 34th Street from the early 90s. And that's a super solid pick. He did really, really good in that movie. I didn't much care for a lot of the rest of the cast. He was a great Santa Claus. Great pick to be Santa in that movie. The Holiday Seasons Podcast on Instagram also says Scott Calvin. Now, Holiday Seasons has not started recording yet. They're going to be up and coming. Keep an eye out for them. They're going to be a brand new Holiday Seasons podcast, basically. So yeah, they're going to start putting stuff out pretty soon, if I had to guess. I'm looking forward to hearing their stuff. We have a vote for the Santa in the movie Santa Claus versus the Martians. Santa Claus versus the Martians. Okay. From Randall in Scottsdale, Arizona. So I haven't seen that movie in like 25 years. And I used to own it. Somebody gave it to me for a Christmas present. It had to have been like a gag gift of some kind, but I watched it and it was just horrible. It was as good as the title would suggest that it was, but it was kind of campy. It was kind of kooky. It's kind of a cult classic, but I didn't bother to look up who played the Santa in that movie. I'm not going to, but hey, you know what? Randall loved him. And so, we've got to vote for the Santa from Santa Claus versus the Martians. Great, campy. It wasn't great. It was horrible, but he got a vote. So yeah, that's the recommendations that I got. So I'm going to let you all in on my favorite Santa of all time. Okay. It's weird. I did a top 10 favorite Christmas songs episode a few months back, and that was a grueling process. It really was. And this, as it turns out, it wasn't really any easier. It really wasn't. Having to choose one Santa out of what? How many? I mean, it's almost unfair, but I'm the one who asked the question about it. And so now it's my turn to answer. My answer could be a little bit surprising to some people. My favorite Santa Claus is David Huddleston from Santa Claus the movie. It was released over the Christmas season. It was 84 or 1985. And I gave it to him because he is positively the jolliest Santa that I've ever seen. He hands down, his laugh is just infectious. The way he gets so excited when the reindeer are taking off, he looks as happy as a little kid. Okay. Yeah, I almost went there with the joke, but you know what I'm talking about. Every time he took off in his sleigh, it was like it was the very first time that he ever took off in the sleigh. He was just so excited to be taken off, and that laugh, and the ho ho ho. Yeah, I gave it to him purely for his laugh and just his overall jolliness. Really, that nobody, in my estimation, has ever done better. And to me, the fact that the movie pretty much flopped at the box office, because it did, it didn't do very well at the box office. It doesn't really take anything away from his performance. Dudley Moore's performance, on the other hand, we're not going to get into Dudley Moore's performance. It wasn't great either. Tim Allen he's a somewhat close second to me, but he never really puts off like a magical kind of jolly kind of vibe the way that David Huddleston did in Santa Claus the movie. Now, Tim Allen was a really, really good Santa for different reasons, but he was still very much Tim Allen in the Santa Claus. And it was a great comedic role for him. I mean, he got to be himself, which is what he's always done. But, if you're looking for a little bit more traditional Santa Claus, David Huddleston, he really just takes the cake for me. So thanks to everybody who sent in their submission, and, keep them coming in along with your newer Christmas music recommendations for me for my reaction videos. Christmas Everyday Show at gmail.com. I'm going to give a shout out to the Cozy Christmas podcast. Their narrator is Art, and he's just done a wonderful show. I knew of it for a little while, but I didn't really do a deep dive into it until kind of recently. And that's, kind of what I've been doing since I started this podcast, is checking out everybody else's stuff, seeing what I can steal, I'm just kidding. But it got me more interested in other Christmas podcasts that I might not have either been familiar with or that I knew of but hadn't really given much of a chance. And so I'm really glad that I checked out Art's podcast Cozy Christmas. Please go check it out. Cozy Christmas podcast. It's a top-notch Christmas show. He's a great narrator. He reads a lot of different stories and tells a bunch of different stories. He's done a bunch of interviews, and he's a real pro when it comes to it. Okay, so look, it's time for the Christmas countdown.
Santa's coming to town. Oh my God! Santa here? I know him. I know him.
So it is 132 days until Christmas. Can you believe this? You can just feel it in the air. I'm telling you, college football, I'm telling you, it starts next weekend. Before you know it, Christmas is going to be here. It's amazing. It's only 78 days until November 1st, okay? For all those strange folks out there, you know who you are. I'm talking about you. You don't do their decorating until November 1st, and, you know, Halloween just kind of messes everything up. I get it. It's in the way, but it's just one of those things that has to be, you know, gotten through. I want you to know that we are still glad that you're here with us. Just, you know, just step it up a little bit. That's all we're saying. Just step it up a little bit. Okay, so now we're going to get into this week in Christmas history. And then this is going to wrap it up for this week. I don't have a Christmas Carol of the week, and I didn't do a Christmas character of the week. I didn't really have the time for it, but we did do this week in Christmas history, and you're going to be glad that we did. We're going to start it off with Reginald VelJohnson. Reginald VelJohnson was in Die Hard. He played Al Powell, the cop who was on the radio with John McClane the whole time. And look, we're not going to do the whole, is it a Christmas movie? Is it not a Christmas movie? I'm not getting into that big debate right now. But what I am going to say is Die Hard was set at Christmas time, and Reginald VelJohnson's character wears a Santa hat very briefly in the movie. So there. I'm not saying that makes it a Christmas movie, but these are undeniable facts. ChristmasEverydayShow@gmail.com. Fight me about it. Reginald VelJohnson was born on August 16th, 1952. So happy birthday, Reginald VelJohnson. Birthday tomorrow. Look, this is a big one. Okay, this is a really big one. Elvis Presley. Now, we all know Elvis Presley. He had, you know, a ton of Christmas hits, including what is probably the most popular version of Blue Christmas. Also, quite possibly the coolest version of Here Comes Santa Claus ever recorded. So Elvis passed away August 16th, 1977. I was 5 years old. His 1957 album, Elvis's Christmas album, it is still one of the best-selling Christmas albums of all time. Elvis, I mean, he did it all. He did rock and roll. He did gospel. He did Christmas music. He acted. There wasn't anything that he didn't do. He was one of the premier entertainers ever. So rest in peace, Elvis. But yeah, he put out just amazing Christmas music, and he passed away August 16th, 1977. Maureen O'Hara. Okay, like huge names this week in Christmas history. Maureen O'Hara played Doris Walker in Miracle on 34th Street from, I don't even remember when that was. It was 1940 something. I don't know. I can't remember. Now, she was born on August 17th of 1920. She played a very important role in what's a very important Christmas movie. And look, full disclosure, I still think she was a little too hot for Mr. Gailey. Yeah, you know, super pretty. He was kind of, you know, okay. You know, I don't think he could have landed her in real life. I really don't. But you know, whatever. It was a movie, and it was make believe, and the whole thing was just crazy. So anyway, Maureen O'Hara, born August 17th, 1920. Look, the hits just keep coming this week. This is another big one. Alastair Sim. Okay. Alastair Sim played the best Ebenezer Scrooge ever in the 1951 version of A Christmas Carol. There's no debate. You can say Oh God, what's the guy's name? I can't even remember. George C. Scott. You can say George C. Scott. You can say anybody else. No. Alistair Sim in 1951 played absolutely the best Ebenezer Scrooge ever. He passed away August 19th of 1976. I'm telling you, this might be the biggest week of Christmas history that we've had so far. We've got one more. Jamie Cullum, who's a musician, he has recorded several Christmas albums that I've not heard because they aren't more than 25 or 30 years old. So yeah, go figure. He was born on August 20th of 1979. Now he's definitely one that I want to give a listen to because I've heard other people talk about how good his Christmas albums are. Definitely going to put him on the list. Okay, so I think that wraps it up for this week in music history. So that's going to wrap it up for this week on the podcast. Next week, we're going to be back with the Christmas character of the week, with the Christmas Carol of the week, and who knows what else. So we're going to get it figured out. But anyway, that wraps it up. Thank you all so much again for checking in with us this week. Love to have you back next week. And until next Friday, Merry Christmas.